Hello everyone, welcome on back. My name is Jean, and today I'm going to really embarrass myself. Go ahead, you can laugh with me. Okay, so I wanted to show you one of the first albums I ever made. Now, I'm doing this for a reason. I want to show you guys that, don't be afraid to start somewhere. I made this probably over 30 years ago now, and that was when I really was starting to get into like paper crafting and stuff like that. So I seen this. Some of you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with this album. Some people call it a squash album. Some people an explosion album. But we are going to go make one, and then you guys can see if I've improved a little bit over the years. But so here is my very first one. So I made this for my daughter's school pictures. So I have her school pictures, and she really didn't want me to show her pictures, but whatever. She's cute. So it's just one of those books that fold up like an accordion. Let me go out a little bit so we can get a better look. So it's just like an accordion. This one has 6 pages in. I did it 6 so that I could get all her school pictures in. And I just did a simple, I used what I had back then. I found this, I don't know what kind of holographic paper I had, and some butterfly stickers. So yeah, there you go. That is my very first album I ever made. So we are going to go ahead and make this today. And when we're done, you can see if I improved a little bit. So I've got part of it made already because it's going to take us a little while to work on. It's very easy to make, so don't get intimidated, okay? So the first thing you're going to need is whatever size you want. This one was this first one that I made. Let me find my ruler here so I can show you, because I made some different sample sizes too for you. So this was a 3-inch one, so it was a 6-inch square paper. So whatever size square you use, it's going to be half that size when you're done. So today I'm going to do a 9-inch square, so that'll make a 4.5-inch album. Okay, so easy peasy. All you want to do, so I have it already cut out. So some things I've cut out to save time, some things we'll cut out together. So I'll be using 3 9-inch square papers. So the first thing you do is you're going to score it in half one way, turn it, and you're going to score it in half again. Easy so far? Very easy. Okay, then we're just going to fold it and score it on that score line. And we'll fold the opposite way too. Okay, now we have to do a diagonal fold. So we're going to take this corner. You can see it doesn't matter which corners you use at this point. So I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to bring it down to this corner. So match the 2 corners up. Now what I do is I just kind of slowly bring it out. The corners, the little points here don't have to match perfectly. In the long run, you're not going to even notice anyways. Okay, so then you have, let me fold it back the opposite way too. And then you have this. And it will almost always work its way in by itself. And I'm going to score it up really good. Or crease it, I mean. At this point, we want to crease it really good. Just kind of fix that one. And you can see that one I didn't get perfectly, but that's okay. It won't matter in the long run. Okay. Okay, just kind of flatten everything down really good. The better you crease it, the easier it's going to open. Okay, so then it's going to go open like that. Okay, so again, whatever size paper you're going to take, score down the middle one way, turn it. We're going to score down the middle again, which in my case is 4.5, of course. I'm doing 9-inch square. Then we're going to pick it up, and then we're going to match our corners the best you can and crease it. First, I'll crease my corners, okay? And just crease it down, okay? And that'll make your, get those to fold in. Okay, can you see how that just kind of folds in then? Once we get the covers on and stuff, it'll fold in really, really nice. And just bring it down and get it as even as possible. And then I just work on, okay. So you're going to have 3 of them. You're going to make 3 of them. So I have my 3 made here. Okay. Next part is we'll just open it back up. I think you guys can see good. And you can see there's 2 squares here and then 2 on this side that are separated in half. So it's like 2 diamonds, triangles, sorry, and then the 2 full squares. Okay, so we're going to take this square here and we are going to attach this one right onto there. Okay, we're just going to glue it on. So we're going to do your solid squares together with your solid square. Now, when you glue it down, you do not want to go. You want to stay below those seam lines, the crease lines there. Okay, so let's throw some glue down. Or you can use tape, of course. I just tend to use glue. It's cheaper, and for me, I like that the flexibility you have in it, because if I put it down wrong, I have a few minutes to move it around. Okay. Kind of wipe that glue off, because if you don't, it might stick together. So now you have this right here. So you have 2 of them hooked together. Okay. So now we're going to take and just add this 3rd one on this end. So you've got the first one here. You have your second one here. We're going to use the solid square. And now we're going to add this one on like that. I thought I would take you down memory lane. I've got a couple more albums I'm going to show you that I started making after this one. Just kind of like threw me in there. And it is kind of one of the easiest little albums to make out there. And I just thought you'd get a kick out of my first one. Okay. So now you have all 3 of them hooked together. And then at this point, these 2 end ones will fold in this way. They'll fold in this one. This one, you're going to want to fold those the opposite way, because they're going to fold the opposite way. And it's easier sometimes for the first try to flip it upside down. And I've got to get my little guys to work first. Once we get everything put together, it'll go way better and it'll work way better. Okay, so then you go and it's like a little accordion. Okay. All right, so now I have one started. We're going to finish decorating and stuff. So we throw that one aside. Trust, it'll take a while to decorate, so we don't want to do the whole thing. All right, here's the one I got started. So I already have the front cover on already, and I got some of the pages put in there. We'll do some pages together. I've got to find which way my opening is. This way. Okay, so bring it some more. Okay. And you can do both sides. Some people don't do both sides. Hey, there's a lot of real estate there. Use it. Okay. So we're going to we're going to get finished putting the paper on. And so now I did, all my inserts here are 4 1/4. So we're going to just finish putting, I'm going to do these solid ones first, and then I'll show you how we're going to cut those ones. So it doesn't matter however you want to put these in, it really doesn't matter. And I'm going to kind of quickly glue these down. You don't need a lot of glue. If you're using like art glitter glue or Barely Arts, you don't need a lot of glue at all. Now I like a border. If you don't like a border, then make it the full 4.5 inches. But I like to have a border of the color around. I think that looks much better. Okay, let's take this one. We'll put that one right there. I hope you guys are enjoying my projects. Like I said, you know, you got to start somewhere, right? I don't consider myself, you know, very good crafter necessarily. Okay, so now this solid one on this side we're going to leave alone because that's where the cover is going to get hooked onto. So we're not going to touch that one. So we're going to work on these triangles. Let's see, I need my cutter again. So easy enough to cut your paper in half. Okay, I'll bring you up so you can see a little bit what I'm doing. So just take it on a diagonal. You want one corner in the line there. And then you take the other corner and put it in there, just like that. Now, hold on to your paper because many times I've held on, I let go of my paper and, yep. So make sure you hold on. I always start in the middle, somewhere in the middle. And now you have it perfectly in half. So let's cut, I think I need 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's cut all of them quickly. Again, we're just gonna line it up. Trying to get you guys can see. One corner. Put the other corner up there. Okay. Then you can decide when they're like, do you want to cut that rose in half? I don't think so, so I'll go this corner instead. I don't really want to cut the rose in half. This, by the way, I should have mentioned that first of all. This, by the way, is that paper pack that I did a review on a while back from Bleeds Vintage Rose 6x6 paper pack, and you can get that off of Amazon. If I remember, I'll put a link in. You know, I'm just still getting all used to putting this links and all that stuff in, and products I use and stuff like that. Some people have been asking for a product list. Okay, so we have all those cut. We'll quick glue those in so that we can work on our cover. Okay. Hold that. I'm just going to paste them back in then. This one, I don't know how many I made years ago for people. It's like, you know, when you make your first project and you kind of get excited about it, like, ooh, I made something. Then you got to give it to everybody and they're probably sick of your, you know, gifts after a while. But it's like, you're kind of excited about it. Not everybody cares for handmade gifts, but if they don't like it after I walk out the door, go ahead, throw it away, whatever. Not going to hurt my feelings. I do it for the enjoyment. I just, you know, I make cards for organizations, stuff like that too. You know, just because I like crafting, and you know, if I have somebody to give it to, I'll give it to them. If not, then it's just gonna kind of sit in my stash for a while. Someday somebody will want it for something, or I'll find a use for it. Normally, I do not decorate the rest of my album until I have the pictures, because you don't know what picture, what sizes you're going to need and how you want to do it. So I don't do the inside all until I have a use for it. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use this one for yet because of the, you know, kind of vintage look. So I haven't decided. I might go back in time and do something from pictures from my grandma and all them. Yeah, so we got that side done. So we're going to do this side, and we have the 2 split sections yet there to do. If I get something crooked, oh, well, I don't want to put my head in the camera, so overall I think the pages are getting on straight. Now this was, since this was a 6x6 paper pad, they didn't have, there was no stickers or cutouts or anything like that in here to use. So then I would just go to my stash and, you know, quite frankly, all I really do is I'll put a picture on the big square, and then I tend to use these for journaling. Or journal on one side, maybe put some sticker embellishments on there. You don't want to bulk it up too much anyways because it folds shut. So most of my decoration goes on the front. So I don't tend to do a lot inside anyways, besides putting the picture down. And I'll map my pictures. So I would, for me, So I would take this same paper, color paper, and I would make a mat behind my pictures, for my pictures. That's how I would do it. So like I said, it depends on what size. I mean, these are 4 1/4, so you could put a pretty good size picture in there. You can put a couple little pictures on each page instead of a big one. You know, which is what I do. I don't like all one size. I tend to use a mix of different size pictures when I'm making my album. I just think it gives it a little bit more interest. I have one of those photo printers that do all the different sizes up to 4x6, which I love. Okay, so now we have this. Put that in there. And now we're going to make the back cover. Simple to make the back cover. So what I'm going to do is chipboard. Use anything. These I get, you can get these off of Amazon. If I can find it again, I'll link it. But anything for chipboard. You can even glue a couple cereal box pieces together. Whatever thickness you like. So my favorite way to cut, and let me tell you, I've tried many things over the years. This here is a Fiskars, and it's the rotary blade one. And I only use this for, I mean, it's a great paper cutter too, but this is the best thing I've ever found for cutting chipboard. And so I only use this for chipboard, and I have yet to replace this blade on here. So I have not replaced the blade. So for the chipboard piece, you need a 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. It depends on how much space you want around it. You can kind of see how much space I have around. So it depends. If you want more space, make it bigger, but mine are 4 3/4. So my 4 3/4, I believe, is right on the edge. That's the only thing I don't like about this is because the way it's split, you can't see where the things are. But I know my 4 3/4 comes right to the edge of this plastic piece here. So now it's very easy. Just take, and usually I stand up because it takes a little bit of muscle, but you can feel it go like, so it's already cut. It was really cut on 2 turns there, but I used to do it with a utility knife. Oh my God, no way. And then I tried a different cutter, but this one works really, really good. Nice clean cuts. No effort at all. I'm sitting right now, so I'm a little awkward. I usually stand and do those. So that's all done. Now I took, get it out here, a 6 1/2. You can put just the pattern paper on and use that as your cover if you want to. You can just use that as a pattern paper. But I like that little border of whatever color you're using. And I thought this paper matched, the cardstock matched the paper really, really well. So I wanted to see that difference in color. So that's what I'm going to be using, is I'm going to be using some of the cardstock. So first thing we're going to do is just glue this down in the middle. There's, you know, you don't have to be perfect about this because it's just glue down here. So just glue this as close to the center as you can. Doesn't matter. You just want to cut it big enough to leave a little bit. I think a 1/2 inch is all you need. I think I have an inch here. Yeah, I have about an inch around mine. But you just need enough. This is going to be covering this whole thing. So I could probably do only an 1/8 around it. But you just want to wrap it around it enough so that this will cover over it. Some people will put another piece of paper down, but this I think is fine. Scissors. Now you just want to cut on an angle, not too close to the black piece, but you want to take some of this bulk of the corner off. Let's see, kind of see? Don't worry if you cut too much off. You know, sometimes I get a little overboard, and now I'm doing this kind of up in the air, so I'm not really seeing very well here. So like that one, you know, I could take a little bit more off, but I won't. We'll leave it like that. All right. Then we're just going to bend, bring you back in again so you can see what the heck I'm doing, right, guys? Okay, so I like to just kind of bend just to get that used to bending. Okay, then I'm going to show you something too, in case you ever run into that problem. Then what I do is just kind of fold it all over, and you can see that we're not overlapping. We're about perfect there. That one is perfect too. That one's overlapping a little bit, which doesn't matter, but I'm going to cut a little bit off. That's the one that I cut too far. And that one's good enough too. This one I'm going to cut just a little bit off because it's got a little crease there. Now, if you ever do it and all this black shows, like if you cut too much off here and there's a black, gap here, just take one of your corner pieces that you cut off and glue it right there, and then it'll cover all that right up. So don't worry, don't stress if your black shows. And if you don't care about it, whatever, then don't show it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to put it on, let it show. I don't stress like I did at the beginning. I was like, oh my God, I got to make this perfect. I got to make this perfect, It's like, it's a craft. It doesn't need to be perfect, right? So don't stress about it. I think it still comes out lovely. And there's always a way to fix a mistake. I found that out. I've made plenty in the years. Like I said, I've done, you start with crocheting and you make plenty of mistakes with crocheting. And then it only goes, can only go uphill from there. No, it can go downhill. Well, every craft I've ever done, I have made mistakes. You learn from your mistakes and you move on. Okay, now we have our cover. Okay, now we are going to put this, I have to glue that back down. Okay, and we're just going to glue that to that, and we'll have our book cover. Okay, so I'm just going to throw on this side, because this side is smaller. Put your glue on here. Okay, now once I put it down, I'm going to pick it up, because once you have the one on, you can usually just use the other one to kind of center all that, and then just kind of hold it down, and then I'll flip it over and make sure it's on there the best you can. Like I said, this glue doesn't take long at all. Okay, so now you have that. There we go. I'll bring it back down a minute. That one to go back in there. Get in there. Get in there. Okay, so now on our back side, we want to put a piece of paper. And let me cut her. So for the cover piece, it's 4.5 by 4.5. And then I'll bring that back out a little bit. 4.5 by 4.5 for your front and back cover. Or if you want to leave it like that, that's your choice. This paper pack had 24 sheets in it, and I've used pretty much all of it. So you need, because you need 18 little squares all together, and 20 with the front and cover, depending how you do that. So, and depending, like I used 5 sheets of cardstock, and depending on what size album you make is going to depend on how many sheets of paper you're going to need. So I tend to open it like this with the two kind of, what are they, kind of open corners like. So then I flip it over this way and I'll put that on like that. Okay, center that down. And I don't decorate my back at all. I might put, a little, if you had, some not chipboard necessarily, some stickers or something like that. Something that's flat, because your back's going to get roughed up. So, don't bother. I just forgot to do, guys, which is okay. So, I was going to show you this in another one, but I'm sitting there talking and I forgot. So, you should have, before you put this piece on, and I don't think I can get it off now without doing too much damage. Yes, I can. I think I can get it off with a little help. If I had my spatula, it might help better. It might work better if I had my spatula down here yet, but I don't see it. Okay. Let me see if I can get that off. It's still a little wet. Otherwise, we'll do it the other way. I have a sample I was going to show you that if you forget to do this, because I do all the time. Don't worry. Okay, it's coming off okay. And I've made this mistake many times too. Okay. Okay. Don't look at the ugliness there. Okay, so you want to put your ribbon down first, okay? And I found this really pretty like lace. Okay, now let's re-glue this. Put some glue on there again. Learn from my mistakes, guys. I'm sure a lot of us have done this. Okay, now let's just get that on there and then pick it back up and sandwich that together. Okay. See, now your ribbon. If you forget, I will show you on a sample that I purposely forgot, which I should have known I was going to forget anyways. You know, I'm all about leaving the mistakes in the video. Okay. All right. So there's your album. Problem with these things I make that are too big. Okay. Now, let's decorate our front, because I will decorate the front. So, I like this lace. I took a chunk of this lace. Okay. Let's see how I can show you guys. Use my props. Okay. So I have some of this lace, and I just added 3 charms to it. 3 charms that I had in my stash. Okay, and we are going to glue that right along the top here. Okay, just right along the top. Nothing fancy. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to put charms in there or anything like that. And I just used my art glitter glue, works just fine. It dries clear. And let's get my little things to cooperate here. And I'm just going to pick it up a little bit, guys, so I can kind of see that I got it kind of up there. Okay. I think that adds something to the album. Got a little bit of movement to my album. And then here would be your tie. And I'm not a fancy tire. Okay. I'll cut some of that off, but I want one more thing down here I'm going to put, because I feel like it needs a little bit of dimension down here. So I had all these extra flowers that were in the paper pack and stuff that I just cut out. Okay. So I just cut all these extra flowers out. So don't throw those away. Put some pop dots on. I did that ahead of time to save a little time. Okay, and let's see. We're just going to put that, I think, right about here. I think I'll put this one under there. And these pop dots I'm using are clear, but they're actually dots I got with an AliExpress. I think it was AliExpress or Shein's. Some embellishment things, and they sent these along with them in case you wanted to pop them up. But I glue them flat down most of the time anyways, so just going to kind of stick that under there. I don't know. I'm not very good at this part. I just put it down. You know, kind of looks good, kind of looks good. If it doesn't, oh well. So I'm just going to kind of cluster it all down here in the corner. I just wanted some height down here. Okay. So I popped it all up. Got my little movement up here. Simple. Okay, now we're going to tie this up. I just like, you know, with this vintage paper, I just really like the look more with lace than ribbon. I'll leave an extra little tail there in case they want to tie it differently. And there is a squash book. Now, do you think I improved just a little bit from my first one? You know, just a little bit. But I still treasure this one. You know, that's you know, my daughter. So again, here's the finished product. And then I'll show you what I have. So you could put little, you know, pockets in here or corner pieces or whatever. I'm not really into junk journaling, you know, and that's for me, junk journaling. If I don't use, I may put a pocket in and put tags in and write on those instead if I need more journaling space. But I find that I usually have more than enough journaling space with these edges. So I will put the pictures in these spots, and then I might put pictures in these spots too, but I leave one for journaling at least. And then the same thing, I'll usually back that with, in this case, the maroon paper, and put like a more kind of like a cream color instead of white, just so it kind of matches the back of that. It wants to fight me. Sometimes they want to fight you. Get that one in. I like how this one turned out. And that paper, like was needing to use that paper on something instead of sitting in my stash. Now, I want to show you. Now, these I didn't all make and decorate and stuff like that. I just wanted to show you. This one is done with 12 by 12. So this is about as big as you can go. It's 12 by 12. So it really depends on how big you want to go. Let me open it. I'm making you guys dizzy going in, out, in, out. So this, it makes a pretty big album. So of course that's that would be a 6-inch. So you could still use a 6x6 paper pack on here if you wanted to use that. Okay, so this is going to be a little harder to fold because I don't have no covers on this one. Okay, so that comes out to be a 6x6 album. So if you want to go big, that's as big as you can go. Okay, so as small as you can go, you could probably go a tiny bit smaller. But this is a 2-inch, so it's a 4x4-inch square paper. Brings it down to a 2-inch album. Now, I thought this would be really cute for kids' birthday favors. And with those portable printers that they have, they could print out pictures right away and put the pictures in right away during the birthday party. I thought that would be a really cute ideal. So that for the small ones, or little grandma's brag book for her purse or something. So there's the two different sizes, the biggest and kind of the smallest you can go. And then I just made some in between. This one is, let's see, I gotta measure the paper, not the book part. So measure the paper part. This is a 5-inch album. So it was I started with a 10-inch sheet of paper. And this one I left open. So you can put like a little tag or something down there if you want. And then this one's just a patriotic one. And then let's see, you got both sides you can decorate on. So that's the 10-inch one. So it brings it down to a 5-inch book. Okay, so there's 6-inch. There's a 5-inch. I'll kind of stack them. And this Christmas one, I think, is a 4-inch. Yeah, and it's a 4-inch. So this was an 8-inch. And this is just one of those elastic pieces that you would get. They sell them for like junk journals and stuff. But you could use a hairband too. That's basically what this is. It's a hairband with the metal on the end. So you can use that to close up. This one is the one nope, not this one. I'm missing one. Though I had the one that, so this one I put the ribbon on right. But I'm missing the one that I screwed up on. But we fixed that problem, didn't we? So go in the hole. And I just punched a hole with my crocodile. So just punch a hole in there. So I punched a hole in the back piece, in the back. And then you just bring it over, and then it closes just fine too. So that turned out to be a 5-inch album. And then you got this one, which we put in the middle, which is the 4.5. 4.5, this was a 4. And then so many different sizes. This was the 3-inch. And then our little baby 2-inch one. So you can see you can make this in so many different sizes. And like I said, these are not decorated because they're, I'll decorate this one this winter when I have the pictures for it. This one I think I'll go back and my grandma and my aunts and my mom are all passed away now. So I think I'll go back and get some because I have the angel on there. I thought I would put in a bunch of their pictures because it's more of a vintage album. So I'm going to do that on this one. I just have to go through all the pictures and pick out some perfect pictures. This one we'll wait till and do next summer for a summer album. Sometimes I'll make the albums up like this just to have on hand. So, you know, it's more frustrating to have all the pictures and then think about what kind of album you want to make. So this one I'll use for the whole summer. It's not just going to be like for 4th of July or anything like that. I'll use this for the whole summer. And this one I'm not going to make. I don't like them this big. I just wanted to show you guys how big you could make it. And that is huge. That's 3 papers. And like I said, you can use as many papers as you want. This one here has six sheets of my lovely daughter. And okay, well, really embarrassed, you know, how, you know, I use little stickers. Just wrote down the teacher's the name and the school and the year and all that stuff. So yeah, you know, I'm a little fancier with the writing and stuff now. I don't use stickers, you know, and stuff, but I just thought you guys would get a kick out of that, and I thought it would be really good to show you this album. It's a fairly easy album for beginners, and a lot of, I think I have a lot of new crafters. If any of you has watched the napkin, the card one with the Mod Podge and napkins on cards, I had so many people have asked so many questions about that, and they've never seen that technique before. But that technique's been around for a long, long time. So something like this, too, has been around for a long, long time. So I'm hoping that you guys all, you know, learn something new if you haven't seen this already. It's very easy to do. And I have one more album that I'll be coming out with soon. It's called the Carousel album. That was like the 2nd album I ever made. So that one I think is really, really cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and go ahead, tell me if I've improved a little bit. Maybe just a little I might have improved. And if you're laughing with me with this one, that's okay. You can go ahead and laugh. All right, guys. If you like this, please give me a like and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.